And we are live. Hello, guys. Welcome to Jason Hebert Live. I just tried to type a comment to you guys, and it says it was rejected as spam. So I don't know if I can communicate in the chat. That's really weird. That's never happened. I'm the host, and it thinks I'm spamming. That's odd. So maybe a little glitch. I apologize for that. But we have another missing persons interview for you guys. If you are not familiar with the show, we interview the families, or the loved ones, I should say, of missing persons and unsolved cases in an effort to help spread awareness and bring them home. So if you're into help trying to solve these families and bring some closure to them, or just help solve the cases and bring them home, please click subscribe below and set the notification bell to all. As you can see, the show is interactive and you can ask questions in the chat and try to actually make a difference. You get the story directly from the horse's mouth versus someone just telling you their version of it. So we will get started here. Let me first introduce my lovely co-host, Chris Simon.
Hi everyone. Hello again.
Hello again. Thank you for joining us. Do you want to go over a quick little introduction of yourself for those who may not have watched the last interview?
My name is Crystal. I studied psychology, and I was on the live, the first live where we interviewed Eric's dad and his sister, and now we're going to interview his wife, so she can give her side of the story.
Exactly. There were some things. She was in the chat. Samantha is her name. She was in the chat while we were doing it, and she didn't agree with some of the things that were mentioned. So she wanted to come on and tell her side. I want to be clear. This live is about Eric and helping find him and bring him home. Every case has multiple sides, but this one especially, and because you guys have heard both, there are going to be people that side one way or the other. That's totally natural. We understand that. However, the point of the show is to make our guests feel comfortable and not to villainize anybody. We just want to help get the truth out and get these stories out. So we ask everybody to please, you can ask tough questions, difficult questions. Samantha will not be hiding from anything, but outright trolling or disrespect, we don't take that. It takes a lot to get booted around here. You got to really go for it and disrespect someone. But if you do that, we can't deal with that. So by all means, please keep it civil, keep it respectful. And Samantha is not forced to do this. It was her decision to come on and tell her side. So she is willing to answer your questions. Just ask them in a good way, please, in the best way you can. And we understand this is an emotional situation. But let me go over some of the details real quick for those of you that are not familiar and did not watch the last live. If you haven't, I suggest watching that one. Obviously, it's too late to watch it beforehand as we've already started. But if you can watch it after this one, that might be a good idea. You'll get two sides of the story. Because in the same way, Samantha doesn't agree with some of the things Eric's father and sister have said, I would assume it's going to be the other way around too. So this way you can hear both sides. So Cass County, Texas, Mr. Eric Thomas Alvarado has been missing since 2018. He went missing from Atlanta, Texas at the age of 32. He currently would be 33 years old, and he's Hispanic, 6'5" to 6'6", and weighs about 270 to 280 pounds. We'll show you some pictures in just a moment. His wife, Samantha Alvarado, said he left home about 1 a.m. on November 20th, 2020. Last year, 2019, without his phone.
2018.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. 2018. I don't have it in front of me. The front door was wide open. The screen door was wide open. The dogs were gone. He was gone. The Jeep was gone. She's quoted. Arkansas State Police found Eric's Jeep later that morning on Highway 71 in Little River County. Atlanta police said it was about 3/4 of a mile north of the Red River. They advised us it was out of gas. Eric's dogs were later found dead nearby. So quite a shame. There's a lot to this case. We're going to try to figure it out tonight, guys. Eric has black hair and several identifying tattoos. According to his wife, he had been making plans for the future and was about to open his own tattoo business. He's got Spanish blood going across his neck. As far as around his wrist, he's got his father's name, Lorenzo. I believe Crystal, is it correct that he was already doing his tattoo business in his home, but he was going to go start a physical business, right?
Yeah, he had it from his home.
Okay, cool. But he was going to, I guess you could say, expand it. Absolutely. So we are going to bring Samantha on to tell her side of the story. So again, guys, please, everyone understand not sincerity, the seriousness of the situation. And let's try to be let's try to be good to all sides of this. So Samantha, thank you so much for joining us today. I just want to say I'm so sorry, of course, for what you're going through. And we're going to do everything we can to help get the story out there and bring Eric home.
Absolutely. It's all about Eric's case right now.
Okay, do you want to start by, we already heard kind of the basics of Eric, both from the article and from his parents. Do you want to tell us your side of your relationship with Eric, go into that a little bit, and then you can lead us into, why don't we start, once you tell us a little bit about your relationship, you can tell us what you feel was incorrect on the last interview, and we'll start from there.
Well, I won't go through the details of what all I think was incorrect because, like I said, I'm not going to do any bashing or anything. I just tell my side, and you know, mine's with all the law officers and everything. So, but as far as me and Eric's relationship, we met. We was real young, and we was just like head over heels for each other. Just all we ever wanted to do was be around each other. I mean, I worked. He did his tattooing thing, and he was amazing at it. He didn't just tattoo on just, you know, little thugs and bricks, but he was doing it there towards the end. He was tattooing on teachers, police officers, business owners. I mean, it wasn't just, you know, just a backdoor tattoo shop. He might have started out in the kitchen way back in the day, but he made sure that his area was good, and that was his passion. He would do tattooing for a little bit, and then he'd get an itch of he needed to drive. So after he would need to drive, then he'd get that itch of I need to tattoo. So it was a toss-up of which one he wanted to do for a little bit. But he was an amazing that's one of my favorite right there. He did amazing work on that. But no, the one before that where he's with the Marilyn Monroe, that was a piece of glass. He painted it and then he flipped it around and he etched that out with a razor. Oh, I mean, his talents are crazy.
That's really good.
Doing that, he was in a dump truck. Yeah, he would just love the concrete truck, whole 9 yards. Something every day.
Wow. Okay. So, and I understand he was.
That was when he was getting his CDL license.
Oh, cool. Okay, so do you want to start by telling us your side of what happened that? Do you want to start by telling us your side as far as what happened that day? What did you hear? What did he say to you? When did you realize he went missing? Do you want to go over all those details? You're breaking up really bad now.
Yeah, like a lot of people keep saying so fast. Well, people that actually knew us better.
Yeah, we got really bad tech issues, Samantha. We can't hear. I don't know if you can hear me, but
we moved the same. Always like it was always raining.
Yeah, we can't hear you at all. You're breaking up really bad.
Still breaking up.
Well, when you just said that, it wasn't. But you're on a laptop, right? Do you think you can maybe try to move it a little bit to somewhere? Because we just kind of missed that whole beginning part. You said, is it plugged in, or can you try to move it somewhere with a little bit better service? Because it's really, we can't hear anything. Oh, it's a desktop.
Yeah, it's a desktop. But when we came back August the 16th, I want to say. He just wanted to go full force into his tattooing, 100%. So that's what we did. We came back and there was a shop at the end of the street. That was his goal. He was still selling bud, unfortunately, but it wasn't as much as what he's done in the past. Didn't feel like it was all that big of a deal, to be honest, but he was into the tattooing, so that was the goal. But he had some people that owed him some money. He had a person that owed him some money that should have paid him for the weed they got from him. It wasn't a big, large amount of money, but he still owed him money, and Eric told him that anytime he seen him, he would fight him, and he did. He stayed true to that. There was a couple of fights. The last altercation was 18 days before he went missing, and Eric did try to stab this individual with a screwdriver. Within a few days, a young man showed up at the yard and was claiming that he needed to make money. Can I clean the yard? And of course, the kind-hearted man that he is, he not only did he help him clean the yard, but he had money as well. The little boy kept coming back for 2 weeks because Eric gave him a little bit of weed at a time. Go sell it. Sell this weed and come back. Well, the day of the disappearance, well, it was the day before, actually, technically. Apparently that gentleman came by while I was gone at work. And that's from 2 witness statements. That boy was gone at work. I wasn't very, we sent everyone home. I think everyone was gone by like 7:30 that night. And I laid down. 2 other individuals came by our home that night. I looked around the corner and seen who it was. I wasn't in the mood. At the time, they were well known to be high on drugs, not just weed. They were actually high on meth. And they are witnesses to this gentleman back that night. And this is in the time frame of 8 to 9 that we came back into the yard. None of us knew about it at that time. None of us was aware. They all left, and that they had gotten a hold of us 2 days later. That's why I'm saying none of us was aware of it, about this boy coming in the yard. Eric comes in. I wake up at around like 11:30, and he's there with me. We're walking through the house, eating ice cream together. I really don't, and this is kind of a part that upsets a lot of people. I don't doing pacing because my husband at times would take hydrocodone. It's no flaw that we didn't, no flaw we didn't accept. Nothing that we didn't love him for. I mean, it's not something to shun him by telling people this. When he'd take too many hydrocodones, that was just his demeanor. He would rub his hands back and forth together, and he'd just, be looking around. That was just normal for us.
At what time do you usually
I didn't really
go to bed?
Well, normally we're not normally in bed that early. Eric, when he's tattooing, Eric can stay up all night long, tattooing all night. Normally, I just switched jobs, and my job prior to that, I was at work until like midnight, 1 o'clock. But I had just started working at a motel, so it wasn't that late. I got off like at 3 o'clock. But that night, like, he even had his glasses on at 8 o'clock. And a lot of people that know Eric doesn't even realize that he wears glasses. So everyone started to his glasses. They were, but like I said, he was there walking around with me. We was having ice cream. We was through the house, messing with the dog.
At what time? At what exact time
Eric
did
took
he
him outside.
leave the house?
Then he comes back to the door. I'm sorry?
What was the exact time he left the house? Because you said you heard his Jeep starting up. At what time was that?
Yeah. That was at 1:30 is whenever the Jeep started up. And like I said, I went to around the corner and went to the door, and he was gone. There's no brake lights. There's no headlights. There's no dogs. The front door's open. The screen door's open, and he's just gone. And
So
there's
you
a lot
went
of question
outside
on.
and you saw him leave.
No, I didn't see him leave. That's what I'm saying. I didn't see brake lights, headlight. He was already gone by the time I made it around the corner. That's how quick it was.
Okay.
Oh, nothing at all. Didn't see anything. Well, I shut the door and I sat there for a minute. And whenever I originally called the police, I didn't call the police and say, hey, my husband's missing. I seriously tried to get the cops, and I thought he had into a fight with that person. Didn't know, because it wasn't like, hey, I'll meet you on the back road. Eric was anywhere, gas station, the dollar store. So in my head, that's my natural assumption. Not, hey, my husband's missing. So that's something I need to clear the air with right now. Never in a million years did I think that me and my family would be in the position we are today with him missing. Who in their rightful minds thinks that?
What did you tell the 911 dispatcher the first time you called?
The first time I called, I told them, I said, yes, my husband has left the home, and I came to him. He left us here. There's only two gas stations in the whole town that's open at that time. The dispatcher asked me, well, maybe he went to Walmart. Try to call Walmart. Walmart doesn't answer the phone that late at night. I tried. And I was sitting there thinking of who can I get a hold of? I don't have no way to go anywhere. I start calling some of his friends. It's middle of the night, early in the morning. Ain't nobody answering the phone. I had one person I knew that woke up before the sun came up. And I called her and asked her on the way into town, can you at gas stations, at Walmart, just see if you see my Jeep. She called me back. Hey, I don't see anything. Oh, I got to get to work. So no, I didn't leave with that friend like was previously stated on the first part of this. I called my friend. She couldn't do nothing. She had to go to work. I called my father-in-law. And this is the part that gets me so hard, is that when my brother-in-law called my phone, he sounded just like Eric, and I was cussing him out on the phone. Where the fuck were you at? So that strikes me odd about the feelings now. But closer to the sun's coming up, about 8:30ish, I had called another set of our friends that were there every single day. They didn't have a job. I knew the help.
Can I get real quick, Samantha? I apologize. We just get so many questions in the chat. A lot of people asking about a Timothy that you were with before he went missing. Someone named Timothy.
Yeah, I don't know who is that. JJ is. I don't know who is JJ. I don't know what that means. Timothy has absolutely nothing to do with anything. That's 6-7 months after Eric's disappearance. I'd like to focus on Eric's disappearance, not something that happened 8 months later, like I've done told all of you people for the last couple of days that have been messaging me that nonstop. This is about Eric. If you don't like it, get on Jerry. Now
Okay.
back.
So that was after.
Yeah, that was well after.
People are wondering, like, why did you call the police that quickly? Like, were you alarmed about something? Because it seems like you were alarmed to a certain extent to call 911 so quickly.
My husband never left the house. If you have someone that never leaves the house at all, he bought his equipment on. He sold his drugs out of the room. When he needed a monster, he didn't go to the store. I did. When he didn't do grocery shopping, he worked from home. So yeah, getting up at 1:30 in the morning in his glasses and mismatching house shoes, walking out the door. I find it strange that my husband did that. And if it bothers so many people, I don't know how to help. I don't know how to help y'all, because if I dated, that'd have been a problem.
And did this guy that you said he got in a fight with and everything, did they investigate him? Has he been talked to? Sorry, this is a bit of a delay, but that guy that Eric had the problem with, has he been talked to?
They said that they really couldn't. They got a statement from him, and they were hoping to question him again later to see if his story's different or anything.
Okay, so he has been talked to.
But
Okay,
without the witnesses that were, and we have more witnesses coming forward.
Have you done any searches?
So, yeah, I was the one that did the first search, and everyone keeps talking about my dogs. Why were the dogs so important? This is why the dogs were so important. A man walking down the street is less noticeable than a man walking down the street with 2 dogs, is exactly what we were told by the police department. And we had reports that the dogs were in Doddridge the day before the actual search. Me, my brother-in-law, and one of his cousins ran through the woods in Doddridge, Arkansas, screaming for them dogs, because many of little kids had done seen them dogs with their sweaters on and everything. And when my dogs were found at the search, they weren't stiff, have no bugs growing on them, none of that.
So you think
my dogs weren't out there for that many days?
Around, and then they were killed.
There is no way possible that them dogs were out there that long. It's just not possible. If he went missing on, I do believe it was like a Tuesday morning, and we didn't do the search until Saturday, and they're still bleeding, they still have movement. The boys that buried the dogs, or they took the dogs to where they were being buried, even the people that buried them, they still had blood coming out of them. They didn't have maggots. They didn't have flies, none of that. And the reason why they were considered tampered evidence is because they were left there on the side of the road.
People are asking about, did you factory reset your phone right afterwards? We get a lot of questions about some kind of factory reset on your phone.
Yeah, your phone and his phone.
No, my phone was not factory at all. Actually, the police have plenty of evidence from my phone backing up everything that I've said. And they didn't have a factory reset on Eric's phone, to the best of my knowledge, because they were able to look for phone numbers. And I'm not the one that turned in the phone to the police department. It was a member of the Alvarado family that turned in the phone to the police department, who had it in possession in the pocket 3 days. So,
okay, so that's incorrect.
Jason has experienced, I'm not too technical.
Sorry, we got a delay. That's why we keep, there's some tech issues and some delay. So I apologize to you, Samantha, and to the chat. We're trying our best, guys. So I apologize. Okay. So you said neither you didn't reset your or his phone. So that's incorrect. The information that's out there.
Absolutely incorrect. And like I said, I handed my phone over. Everything I could hand over to the police. I didn't wait on a warrant. I didn't wait to be asked. I gave it to them, because I want my husband found, period. It doesn't matter what anybody's feelings towards me are. I could really care less.
Britt, why was there
I didn't know
2 hours of surveillance footage
missing
from the house missing? So there was no
like I said, I didn't know that. No, not to the best of my knowledge. I've never heard that one, and I don't know how anybody else would hear that either.
So the police have the footage, right?
Mm-hmm. In custody. It was signed over that day. And I didn't even get into the surveillance camera. The guy put it in for him and sold it to him. He's the one that got into it. I wasn't even there when he got into it. I was gone with my brother-in-law asking people where Eric's at.
Okay. And people, we get. I'll put a couple questions
as far
in
as
one.
his wallet.
Yeah, that was one.
As far as his wallet, from when the wallet was found, his friend got a hold of us and said, "Hey, I gave him a wallet. That's not his current wallet." The officers still have it in custody. We had them real tall armoire things, and he, I guess, just tossed it up there. This is tall. They said that they would investigate that. They have it. It doesn't have a current debit card that he was using. It was like one of them temporary cards and his Social Security card. That was all that was in there. Oh, nothing that he was actively using.
Okay, I'm gonna put this one up because you actually kind of brought. I think I know the answer to this one, and I think you told me, but they're asking about you and Timothy, I guess, about living in different towns soon after. You had kind of explained why you had moved. Do you want to go? I don't know how much you want to put public, but do you want to go over what you told me earlier?
I moved out of the house that we were staying in, because I know what was going on. Like I said, why would I stay in a home that we were working on together and then he's not there? Why would anyone do that? Why would we want to sit around and look at the walls like that? And again, Timothy has absolutely nothing to do with absolutely anything. I was drunk. See, I can admit my fault. Can we leave Timothy completely out of the whole equation? 8 months later. We're talking about November the 18th.
Yeah, no, I was asking that
November
more.
the 20th of
I
2018.
put that up just because you had basically explained. You had said you were going through some rough times before that until recently, so I thought that might answer that.
Yeah, because as I stated earlier to y'all, being in a small town, especially when you have 2 other people missing, you get 1,001 rumors and crap, and nobody will stand up and call the police. You claim you know, but will miss someone in Indiana, but not pick the phone and call the police across town. So, yeah, it kind of got to a thing every day where it was consistent. People coming to my job. I don't know. Someone coming up to my daughter at the school telling her daddy ain't nothing but a drug dealer and he got what he got. Oh, that's the spouse of said man that he was fighting with. See, that's something that nobody on here seems to take account. Eric did help raise 2 kids, and they are old enough to hear this. They are old enough to watch this, and they watched the first part of this and were appalled. Because there's so many people that claim that they know him. Wasn't nothing but a piece of money coming through the door. That don't know anything. It's called a rumor mill. It's consistent.
What happened to the Jeep? Because you would think that's the police would want to keep the Jeep.
The Jeep was the police. Okay, whenever I made the report where they came to the house, that said boy that was there the night before come running right back over there before the cops were even out of my driveway. We're slow. They told me they had found the Jeep at 9 a.m. that morning. A state trooper in Arkansas was en route to another call, noticed the Jeep, and had put a tow tag on it. When the officers took my information that morning, one of the officers went ahead and put it in the system against all the other officers. Hey, that's not how we do things. Well, he put it in the system, and the Jeep popped up in a in Arkansas. It was not released to me in 2 hours. It was not released to me in 2 hours. It was like
When
2
was it
days
released to
later,
you?
out there the next day. It was before Thanksgiving. I do know that. I want to say it was that Wednesday. Yeah. And I called the Arkansas sheriff. I can't remember his name, that was supposed to meet me at the impound lot. And I called him not once, but twice, because it took 2 trips for me to drive up there with paperwork on the Jeep. Because the first trip I rode up there in such days, I had a pair of pants under my arm instead of the paperwork.
Let's go into a kind of a general question. I don't want you to feel like every question is kind of against you. Some people have asked Rotel, what do you think happened? So which way are you leaning towards everything here? Where do you think he is? What do you think happened? Let's kind of go into your thoughts on that.
Oh, I have absolutely, for the life of me, I cannot figure out where he would be, and to think that someone has done something to him, it's hard for me to, because I have seen him defend himself. I have seen him do that. I've seen him throw boxing gloves on with all the guys. I mean, I just know better. So whatever happened, wasn't something that he was expecting, I'd assume. And I fully feel that the person that he was fighting is how they both sold drugs. Now, doesn't look too good when you're always getting your butt whooped consistently. So I fully feel that this one person, who I have told his entire family, they all know the name. They know both of the names. They know both of the boys' face.
Have you talked to those boys?
So, yes, I tried younger boy. I sure did.
What did they say?
He lied. Oh, he swore him down. He was Eric's best friend. Oh, Slow's best friend. But in the same breath, threatened to come back with his mother and shoot me. And the next day, his mother was calling my brother-in-law on the phone, looking for Slow for child support. When they went and talked to that boy, it's here at the end of November, and he's pouring sweat. 3 months later, that same boy tried to get another friend of mine out of the house. He called me freaking out, and I told him, leave him alone. But I said, our big problem is people will not pick up the phone and call the police. They'd much rather get on Facebook and bash on page after page. Eric needs people to call the police department. Texas Ranger Mason is our Texas Ranger case. You ain't got to tell him your name.
Have
Just
you
your
been in
information.
contact with the police?
That's it. Quite often, I actually have a meeting this week. I stay in contact with law enforcement on Eric's case. They respond to me. They email me back. I get phone calls.
And that's a good time to bring it up. So there's someone in the chat that you had mentioned this in the pre-interview too. There's someone saying you're related to the police. You said that's not correct in the pre-interview, I think. Do you want to go over that? Because a few people seem to think that.
I'm not related to Gemma Hicks. I'm not related to a police officer, period, in Cass County. Gemma Hicks was our neighbor. The only words between neighbors wasn't even between Eric and Gemma. They were between me and Gemma and my daughter. She thought he was trapping our cat, and we went over there. It wasn't our cat. He was trapping stray cats for, I think he said it was a lake.
Okay. So I can't tell.
Gemma, I'm not related to Donnie Combs. Although a lot of people seem to think that. I mean, I know it's very a hard fact to understand. My cousin has children with Donnie Combs' daughter. I'm not related to him. So those are 2 other things cleared up.
Okay. And Karen Knuckles asked, can you describe the layout of the house and driveway so that people can maybe better understand how he could drive off that fast? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Samantha?
Now I can.
Oh, okay. I think I lost you. Karen Knuckles asks, can you describe the layout of the house and driveway so people can maybe better understand how he could drive off that fast?
Yeah, the house was, if you've got if you walk up into your front yard, your house is normal like this. Our house was, you come in the driveway and it's like literally you pull in. That was it. That was the whole driveway. It's not some big long driveway. We are at the end of the street on the corner. From the surveillance video shows that he backed up, he pulled out of the driveway, hooked a left and behind the house, and he was gone.
Okay. And did he have to turn around did he kind of turn the corner as he ran out when you were inside, or is that what made you miss him?
I'm assuming so, because like I said, I didn't see brake lights or anything. And I from the moment I heard that Jeep crank up, I knew something was not right. Because like I said, he's in mismatching house shoes, his glasses, and it's 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah. So Lily Dominguez asked, were you and Eric having problems?
No, we were not having relationship problems. We just celebrated an anniversary. We were making plans to go get Christmas tree that week on Wednesday. Date night, the whole 9 yards. So, no, we weren't having any problems. There was no affair with anybody, and like on your part one. Oh.
Okay, I'm going to go over some pictures. Chris, do you want to get a couple questions in?
Yeah. Matt about Maya asks, it takes 3 seconds to back out of the driveway. It's easy to miss. No, that wasn't a question. Sorry.
If you go through the chat, there should be plenty of them.
Yeah. 1 second. Juan Elias asks, flat out, it seems that the only reason someone would want to hurt Eric would be drug related. But is there another reason you could think of? You knew him best, so there has to be a hunch. Like, could it have been something else?
I said, Eric was there for everybody. If you needed something, you could call him and he'd be right there. Like, he gave our couch away to everybody. He'd help this one work. He'd help that one make money. And there is no reason for anybody to want to even over $75. Even the drug situation with him and this one dude doesn't even make sense. I mean, he's worth so much more. It doesn't make any sense. No, I'm sorry, but that's the only person he had an issue with.
So this was $75. What was his, since he was selling it in the past, what was the typical amount? Was that typical, or was that a low amount for him? Was it average?
That's what the dude did pay. Like, he had made payments on the rest, but he didn't pay that $75. And at that point in time, Eric felt like people were just like, I don't even know how, like, punking him is what he would say. Ain't nobody gonna punk me. Oh, he told him on site, and he stayed true to that. Even with a broken toe, he fought him with a broken toe.
Okay, we have a few questions I can kind of group together here. I want to try to get everyone in. Brittany Price, the people are asking about his belongings. Some people are saying, do you still have it? Some are saying that they heard you got rid of his stuff so quick. Can you go into whether or not you have his stuff, and if you did get rid of it, why? And then more people asking about what happened to the guy with the screwdriver. So maybe you can answer both of those.
Okay, well, as far as Eric's stuff goes, my mom felt in the beginning, we didn't know what was going on. The house was still like being worked on, so it wasn't like the Taj Mahal of homes. And he told me, he said, we need to get some of this stuff out of here. So my brother-in-law did take quite a bit of things. I do have some stuff. My children have the majority is who has stuff.
Okay. Is there stuff that you got rid of?
I have
a good amount of
slow
stuff.
down. I'm sorry.
Did you get rid of a lot of people saying you got rid of a lot of his belongings? Did you get rid of a lot of stuff soon after, or what happened with that? Is that incorrect, or?
If they're talking about the stuff out of the house, I mean, like a broke down car, the hot water heater. Yeah, I did. I sold the hot water heater that we just put in. I mean, as far as his personal things, no. I have, and my mother-in-law sent some to his mom and his other family members that don't get updates and stuff as well. And then also, I'll go ahead and answer a question that I see from April, that there's a new rumor going around on Facebook, thanks to certain people. I have never in my life met Baby K, Kevin Shepherd, what his name is, let alone did I date him. I really don't understand what my relationship status throughout my life has got shit to do with my husband's case. I mean, facts are facts, and y'all, if y'all can show me where that happened in my life, because I don't remember it, and I'm pretty sure I'd remember if I was dating someone.
Some people ask if you still live in the same house or the same town, and if not, how soon after his disappearance did you move?
I stayed in Cass County for a year after this. Not in the same house. Sure didn't. I did not stay in the same house. I left because, as I just stated, why would you want to stay in a home where you're supposed to be building a house with someone and then they're not there and you have no reason why?
So how long after did you move? Did you feel he wasn't coming? But when you say you wouldn't want to live there with the guy you were trying to build it with, did you feel soon after that he maybe wasn't coming back? Was it kind of quick that you felt like something happened, he's not coming back? Or how long did you stay in the home? I'm sorry, I think you might have answered that, but I've been going through the pictures.
I didn't stay in the home. My family was scared for me as well. Well, I mean, why would I stay somewhere where I don't know what happened to him and he was there at the house and then he's gone? Like, that's not even logical. Sorry, okay. I'm scared. Left.
So you left kind of out of fear family something could happen to you
for a long time. Well, I wasn't going to stay there without him, and we had kids. Nope.
Karen Nichols asks, why do you think it was days later before Bane and Chico were found? I know you said you don't think they were there the whole time. Do you have a theory on what might have happened with them, the dogs?
No, the dogs are so confusing to me because I know Eric would never, he wouldn't stand politely by while something happened to the boys at all. But he wouldn't have been down for none of that. That whatever happened, Eric wasn't with the boys when it happened. The truck was, or when the Jeep was found by the tow truck, the tow truck would have seen the dogs. And I mean, nobody seen them. Matt, other members, all that area for days on end before the actual search. None of us find the dogs until that Saturday, where it was broadcasted everywhere, where we were going to be, when we were going to be there, come help us search. So I think that all that, the whole Arkansas situation with the Jeep and the dogs, I seriously, like a decoy or diversion or whatever, and that Eric's still somewhere in Atlanta, in that area. I ever made Ogden, Arkansas. Search teams don't think he ever made it to Ogden, Arkansas police, nor does the Texas Ranger or Atlanta Police Department.
Watcher on the Wall asks, would the dogs be likely to defend him?
Chico, definitely. Him and Chico were together all the time. So much so that when Eric went to work, we had to get a shock collar on Chico so he'd quit screaming in the room. So, yeah, with Chico, most definitely. Chico would have done some damage to him behind Eric. Bane, we had just recently gotten Bane. I actually got Bane for our wedding gift, is what he got me. And he was such a scaredy cat. He's just a short little goofball. I honestly, Bane would probably carol down and run.
Okay. So one would, okay. Let me see. So a few things. People are asking if Eric had life insurance, and then some people are still confused. They're saying, can you clarify you leaving the house as to what you were afraid of? I mean, I think I understand what you mean, but we got a lot of questions on that, so I'm just trying to make sure I get them all in.
No, I really can't clarify what I was scared of because I don't know what happened to Eric. All I knew is that he's been by my side for all these years and he wasn't there. So no, I wasn't going to put me and my kids back in that home. Sorry. And what was the other question?
Well, I'll ask two together. So people are saying, why did you wait until Saturday to search? But then we also have questions asking if new searches are going to be done, if anyone wants that. So can you go over why you searched when you did, but also any new ones that might be done if people want to help?
Well, when we first got started, we had to wait until family and we had more people and everybody else, and we didn't have no help. Like when it very first started, the officers told me he is 32 years old with no strings to probation, parole. He is free to go wherever he wants. And they pretty much left it at that until we found what we found out there in the search. I call them and they would tell us, oh, we heard, like one of the cops told us one time, oh, some dogs are over there in Texarkana that might fit your dog when we were out in Doddridge searching. I mean, they were more focused on if they found the dogs, they'd find him. So that's kind of what I was running with in the beginning. If you find the dogs, you're going to find him. They're all together. As far as the new search goes, we have a search team out of Harleton. They have been out many times, many times. That I want to say they've done, which I could be wrong, 11 miles in a radius around where the Jeep was found, and they have come up with nothing.
Can you explain
what was
found? What was found in the searches and how the dogs were found? What was their condition?
I was at the rest area when actual searches were coming on. Anyone that was coming in, I'd give them flyers and send them in different directions. We had so many people that actually showed up, from family to friends to clients, everybody. I got a phone call from my brother-in-law who told me, hurry up, get down here. We found Chico. Well, when we got down there, it wasn't Chico. Chico is the big blue pit. It was Bane. There's multiple theories on what happened to Bane. In my head, he's like a little Chinese little dragon doll in my head. It's a jacked up memory I have. But seeing what's in my head versus what I've seen in the picture, it's not the same. But we've had one vet look at a picture and say, hey, he's been hit by a car. And then we had another person look at the picture and say, oh, no, he's been sliced. I don't know. I sat there with my dog while bawling and boohooing with a cousin. And we hear, I told everybody to jump the fence because there was like a pasture right there. And they all jumped the fence with no questions asked. Everybody, search team did fabulous. They jumped the fence and they walked that whole pasture. And upon coming back, they found his house shoe, and inside of the shoe was the toe tag that should have been on the Jeep. And And none of us, when we did get the Jeep back, we all looked at it, and you cannot see a little sticky square from where that thing was at on the Jeep. Well, they found the house shoe and the toe tag in the Jeep, and we're all running that way. And then behind us, we hear barking. And we turn around, and a friend of ours had brought her service dog out there, and that's when they found Chico in the median ditch. It's like in the middle.
Mhm.
I never got to see Chico. I was basically tackled by some of Eric's family members. They told me that I didn't need to see Chico. I never seen Chico still. I have seen a picture of him that's just his chest plate, and there looks to be a pole and a skid mark like raised next to it.
The hole here.
Like I said, my brother-in-law had the authorities on the phone. Yes, it was right in his collarbone, or in his chest plate. Matthew was on the phone with the police when they were there by the time Chico was found. They were there by the time the shoe was found. They were there, Little River County. And they sent us all back to the weight station at first. And then they pushed us even further back to the Texas state line to the rest area. And we all sat right there. And every now and again, someone out the group would go and make sure that they were searching. I can't really recall how long they were searching, but I do know that that was in the vehicle with me, which was a lot of Eric's family members, felt that it wasn't long enough. They left the dogs on the highway and left. They didn't say nothing. They just left. And the Texas Ranger, the moment that they left the dogs on the road, the Ranger notified me they became tampered evidence. Well, sorry, those were our family members, and we weren't leaving them. And if it offends people that we cared about our dogs like that, tough luck.
Have you taken a polygraph, or has the police offered a polygraph?
Well, here's the deal with this little polygraph comment that has been consistent.
Yeah.
Everything that I have said is backed up by police. Police understand. I have surveillance. I have text messages. I have all of this. Everything I say is backed up by what I've said. Every bit of it. So what's the need for a polygraph test? Explain that to me. Polygraphs aren't admissible in court. And
No,
then you
they're
want
not,
an already strained county.
But did they offer one? Or they just never did?
No. And here's another one. My in-laws have hired a private investigator to also cleared me. I have that as a recorded call as well. So
Breaking up pretty bad.
Yeah. Would you be willing to give up a polygraph to maybe clear your name? I know it's not admissible in court, but are you willing to take a polygraph?
Yeah, if a law officer asked me to, not my father-in-law. Like I said, I don't have to clear my name because the officer has done that for me. If an officer of the law with a badge says, hey, you need to take a polygraph test, sure, why not?
Okay.
But just because people are being petty and not getting their way, no, I won't. Because they can take one as well. I mean, everybody in town can do that.
A lot of people asking, how did Samantha know what he was wearing if she didn't see him leave? She was in the house with him. She just didn't see him when he actually left. So she knows a lot of people asking that. So I just wanted to clear it up.
Yeah, that I am.
Yeah. So sorry. There's so many comments, and then we get some tech issues and stuff. So I'm trying to keep up with everything, and I just had to boot a guy for being stupid. But good talk. Kathleen, I don't know if you're talking to me or Samantha. Do I work or talk to first responders? I would if you're asking me, Kathleen.
Yes. I do talk
yes,
to all
you
the
do. Okay.
officers, all of them. Like I said, I have a meeting this week with my detective and the Texas Rangers. So when you call the police, and I've called screaming and hollering and they hang up. I've called and was calm, but talk.
You broke up a little there at the end. I'm so sorry, Samantha. A couple questions. So, someone said you didn't answer the life insurance question. I'm not sure if you did. Did he have life insurance? And Jack of all trades asked, why isn't anyone trying to access his Facebook messages?
His accounts, I did have to have a warrant. I went through it with the judge and the Texas Rangers to break his amendments to have them able to go into his social media accounts, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, everything. Now, what happened after that, I have no idea, but I did help get the warrant for that. As far as this life insurance policy, we were not living above our means, but we were like living homeless. We couldn't afford health care. We couldn't afford a health insurance. Couldn't afford life insurance. That one's funny to me. I'm sorry. If Eric had the extra $200 a month, it would not be for life insurance.
Yeah. A lot of people asking what's someone named Lucinda Ray. Then other people are saying she's a troll. She made videos or something. Do you know who that is, Lucinda Ray? I don't even know that name.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, who's that?
Dickie Sue Gonzalez. Her name is Dickie Sue Gonzalez Corbett. She used to be my mother's friend. She came to my mother and said, son caught Donnie as the one that got rid of the other couple that's missing their vehicle. He had to pay a debt. And instead of my mother told her, go to the police. Instead of going to the police, she got on Facebook Live. That is Lucinda Ray, Dickie Sue. She's the same person. As far as I know, everything she was saying was referring to Donnie Combs and Cindy Arnold's case. Nothing to do with Eric. Eric didn't really care for her. He didn't want her at the birthday parties or nothing, so.
We have someone say, One Up Entertainment says he could help you get into the Facebook messages. He doesn't need the passwords. I know you said law enforcement's looking into it, but maybe that's an option you could take if you wanted to try to get in yourself.
No, because if something like that happens and then there's evidence in Facebook message, it becomes contaminated evidence. It's no good. That's like I said, people keep trying to avoid the police. Well, sorry, y'all. We kind of have to go through the police on everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to get? I know you've asked a lot already. Do you want to get another couple? Because it's been an hour, Chris. So we're probably going to start winding down. And we don't want to hit her with too much.
It's just it's more of a comment. Like you said, it's a very small town, so it's really confusing to me. Like that so many contradictions, and I don't understand why the police aren't doing more than what they've done. That's just like my 2 cents.
The officers have told me in the beginning, and it really did make me very upset considering how the other cases went. It kind of makes more sense. They straight up told me they don't have much to go on because people would rather do the Facebook arguing and, hey, I heard this. Hey, I heard this. Hey, instead of calling the police and saying something. So in their hopes is that someone's going to get pulled over, snitch. Someone was out there that night and is going to snitch. That's what they're hoping for. They have nothing to go on because
they haven't found him.
Huh?
They haven't found him. They haven't found him at all. So there's pretty much no evidence.
Jeb New called me. They don't have a crime scene, so it has nothing going. It's more rumor than anything. So,
yeah, Brianna Martinez says, why aren't the police investigating?
I did bring all this.
Sorry.
I did. They did talk to him. They sure did. And I was told his other half gave him an alibi. Well, his other half is the one that walked up to our youngest daughter and told her that her daddy was a drug dealer. So, I mean, it's not that we don't deal with the police. We bugged them. Between me and one of his cousins, we talked to the district's attorney. We talked to plenty of officers consistently.
So I guess this happened before. CT Landingham says, Sam, why did y'all move back to Texas if Eric was doing well in Indiana?
Because CT, he wanted to tattoo. CT is a family member. He knows how Eric was about tattooing. Eric had legitimate dreams of owning his own shop. And when we came back to Texas, that was the plan. I was working at a restaurant that sold, and they had to give us a whole bunch of back pay. He bought brand new equipment, brand new everything that he was going to put at the shop at the end of the street. When he went missing and I have to start digging through stuff, I found all the paperwork for him to go in front of the city council and get permission to put the shop there. Eric had goals. That's why we came back to Texas. He was when he was driving and working concrete and working construction, he's working like 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day. And he didn't like that. After a little bit, it would just wear him out. And he wanted to go on tattooing. He did this every year. Like 1 year he'd drive, 1 year he'd tattoo, 1 year he'd drive, 1 year he'd tattoo.
So a little support for you, Eric Duncan.
Daniel Ramirez.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Well, Eric Duncan says he was one of the best artists I've ever seen. Oh, sorry.
Daniel Ramirez, my brother-in-law has all the equipment other than what I have.
Okay. And Erin Duncan just showed you a little support. She says he was one of the best artists I've ever been to, and Sam was always right there by his side. All right. Is there anything we always do a segment at the end where you kind of speak directly to them, because obviously we always hope for a positive resolution. Obviously, it's been quite a bit of time, but hopefully something's out there and he's staying away for whatever reason and we can get him to come back. So we will do that in just a moment, have you speak directly to him. But before we do, is there anything we didn't go over today that you feel is important that gets out there, whether it be to Eric, to anyone in the community, just anything like that, just something you feel is important people know?
Only thing I can tell everybody, area, Linden, Atlanta, Queen City, wherever you're at, whoever you are, if you hear rumor, it don't matter what it is. Call Texas Ranger, call Atlanta PD. Cass County Sheriff's Department's even listening now because we call them so often and make sure of it. Anybody can say whatever they want on Facebook. It does not help Eric. If you gave a crap about him, like everyone's on Facebook, oh, we love him, then start calling the police. Stop.
And we have all their information on screen there, guys.
Just call them. You don't have to give them your name. And guess what? If you're another, or if you're in the middle of a custody battle, or if you have another criminal, anything going on, my Texas Ranger don't give a damn about it. He will look you dead in your face and say, smoking that joint, if you got info, give it up. He doesn't care. He just wants the information about Eric, as we all are doing.
And just so you know, Samantha, we're putting a lot of the questions on there because that's kind of the purpose of this, is clearing things up. But you have a lot of support in the chat too. Just because I'm putting all the tough questions doesn't mean everyone is saying that. You know what I mean? But do you, so thank you to everyone who, we're just trying to get different sides of the story out there, guys. Obviously, Chris and I, we don't know anything that happened. We're just giving everyone an opportunity to tell their side of it. So thank you for the people who aren't fighting in the chat. For those that are, a few people got booted. Sorry, but that's not what we're here for. We're not here to side with one guest over the other, to make them feel uncomfortable, to badger them with awful questions and accusations. It's not what this show is for. It's for people to get their sides of the story out.
Our main thing right now is that everyone needs to stop with the Facebook games and being petty and start reporting your crap. Because just by sitting here, I've already got 3 of them claiming that they're calling the police department right now. We don't need this, feel sorry for Lorenzo. Everyone needs to and find Eric on any leads, anything.
Yeah, y'all should come together to, instead of fighting between each other, you should join, like get together and help find him. That's the best thing you can do.
We discussed that before this started. No, like I said, we discussed that before this started. So that's just, as y'all said, some of the downfalls of what's going on right now.
Yeah. Do you want to speak to
me and my girls? Didn't just lose Eric and the boys, we did with the family.
Let me ask one more question before we have you speak directly, but because this has been asked a few times, was the FBI ever involved, since it sounds like state lines might have been crossed and stuff?
See, that's what we were assuming, that, you know, the FBI would be involved due to it being across state lines. But I've talked to them directly. Believe it or not, when you call the FBI, they answer on the first ring. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a press 1 or a press 2. No, they answered. They talked to me and they said that Eric's case did not fit the criteria. We're still pushing for that. Trust me, and one of his cousins, we are still pushing for the FBI. We do more behind closed doors with contacting officers and stuff than what we do online.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to speak directly to him? We pray he's out there, Samantha, and that there is some kind of positive resolution. But if he is watching this, do you want to speak to Eric? Can you hear me, Samantha?
Now I can. I don't know what happened, but yes, now I can.
Okay. Do you want to speak directly to Eric?
Yeah. We just want you to come home, even if it's just, hey, I'm in Mexico, figured I'd take a break. It's just like a crazy nightmare that can't nobody get out of, and we don't have no way of knowing which way is up, which way is down half the time. You're deeply missed, and you need to just let someone know where you're at. Wave at somebody. I mean, he does have bukus of people just needing artwork, looking for you. No. The girls look for him often.
Okay. Thank you, Samantha. I'm sorry. I know this is...
We are tired of living like this. We need to know where you are.
I'm so sorry, Samantha. I pray for you guys and for Lorenzo and Christy and everybody. Eric, if you're out there, please come home. We'll finish up there because Samantha, I know it's really upsetting and hard to go through. Samantha's, please, guys, only, there's a lot of people that have come throughout this live. I think about 1,000 people or more. So please only message her If you have something related to the case, if you think you saw Eric, if you have an idea, we don't want to cause more messages to come, people fighting, stuff like that. Let's avoid that. So, but her information is below, as well as the Finding Eric Alvarado Facebook page. So Samantha's page and the Finding Eric page are both down there. So you can give information to either them, or you can give it to the authorities, of course. My information and Crystal's actually is also down there if anyone wants to contact us. But I always recommend send it to the family or authorities. It doesn't make a ton of sense to just give it to us. But if you do send us anything, we will pass it along, of course. There were a ton of questions we couldn't get to tonight, guys. There were just so many. So please put them in the comments below. I'm sure Samantha and Eric's family and everyone will do their best to get to them. Plus, it helps the video. The more comments that are not in the chat, but the comments at the bottom of the page, the more that are down there, the more it tells YouTube that, oh, people are into this video. So send it out to more people. So the more comments and questions you leave below, the more people that it will get out to, and hopefully gets it out to someone who knows where Eric is or what happened. So I
also
just
like and share.
Yes, like, share, all that kind of stuff. Please help out, guys. Let's try to help bring Eric home. It doesn't matter. In the end, all that matters is bringing him home. It doesn't matter who's right about what specific detail, who is nicer, who said something mean. All that really matters is that he comes home. So thank you so much, Samantha. You did great. And I appreciate you coming on after seeing the other live, because I know you didn't agree with everything. So thank you to you, to Lorenzo, to Christy, to everybody for telling your sides, and we will finish up there. Okay.
All righty. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Samantha.
And Chris, thank you. I will talk to you soon. And everybody, have a good night. So sorry for the tech issues, guys. This was actually the hardest live I've ever done to keep up with the tech issues and all the people in chat. It's very hard for me. So everyone said I did a good job in the chat. I hope you're not just saying that. I tried my very best. So thank you, guys. I love you all. Please click subscribe, set the notification bell to all right below the video. And we do this pretty much every night. You'll be notified. You can ask questions and help solve these cases. Thank you to everyone so much, and have a great night. Leave your questions and comments below in the comments below, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Chris and Samantha. Good night, guys.
Bye.